uh, going back to a little bit what you talked about with that Lakers Celtics game, I saw that you caught that whole debacle. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
First thing I want to take away from that, I have never seen LeBron James act like that in Everdom. I was
I've
like,
seen him be pretty dramatic, but not on that level.
not on that level. I was like, okay, LeBron, I get it. Yeah, you were cheated, but this is a bit much here, don't you? Don't you think? I was like, this is a little bit much, but I think this haul brings up a bigger issue with LeBron and the Lakers. I mean, so I was reading this Yahoo Sports article today, and it was this journalist that basically he went through all of the last 2 minute reports from the year. Ben Rohrbach, he went through all the last 2 minute reports just to see, okay, how often was it that the last 2 minute reports came out in the Lakers' favor. And for all of our listeners out there, the NBA puts out this last 2 minute reports after every single NBA game. And what it does is it's supposed to be something that's supposed to just keep officials honest, and then also just show that the league is thorough in its officiating practices. So in this last 2 minute report, they put out all of the fouls and all the calls that officials make in those last 2 minutes of games, and they basically either say those officials they got it right or they got it wrong. Um, and so what Ben did, Ben went through all of them from across the league, from across every team, and just and went to see, all right, how many times did the last 2 minute report come out and say, hey, that the Lakers should have actually gotten this foul call in their favor. And Chance, you know what? Out of all of the teams, do you know how many times officials actually got it wrong for the Lakers, like in a ranking? The Lakers were the second most screwed over team in the league, basically,
Oh,
on,
really?
on calls. Yeah. So he broke it down. He broke it down into a list, and then number one was actually the Clippers at 63.2% of calls that were that should have been in their favor, and then the Lakers were at 61.8% in last two
Oh,
and from
wow.
the last 2 minute
That's a
report.
that's a new conspiracy. NBA doesn't want LA to thrive. Both the LA teams getting screwed over by
Oh
the refs. I think they just don't want LA in there anymore. That's the new hot conspiracy take.
yeah, we should ask ask the Kings how they feel about that. Uh,
Yeah.
and so and they got a total of like 34 calls incorrect in just the last 2 minutes. And I know like there's some stuff too, that Lakers Mavs game was a big controversial one too, with Christian Wood pulling on I believe LeBron
hmm
James' arm or Westbrook's arm, somebody's arm. At a late game in that, then it was like two or three others at the end of the week, and so the Lakers are heated. But I think a lot of this is it's more than just being heated at officiating, because like the Lakers need everything to go right now just to win
Right.
basketball games. And so I think it's easy for them to get caught up in that whole emotion of like, oh my gosh, we fought so hard to get to eke out this win, and then one bad call really just takes us over the edge, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the whole like refereeing thing, like I think both players and fans can become victim of this to where they single out one specific instance and blame that on the whole game. And the reality is like it's very rare for a ref to actually like influence a game to where that one call
Mm-hmm.
makes a huge difference. Like we saw it in the NFL game over the weekend where they had the late flag. They got Mahomes the extra 15 yards, and you could say like, oh, that one play changed the whole game. First off,
Right.
it was the right call, but second off, like that one play doesn't change the whole game. There's still so much else that happens within the game. And even with the LeBron thing, like, yeah, they could have called the foul, or, maybe they would have gone in overtime and then maybe had a 50-50 chance of winning. But at the end of the day, like the refs have a pretty small amount as far as like actually influencing a game. So I think a lot of that gets overblown and I see a lot of fans do this too, where they just single out one specific play and they just think that if that play changes, then the whole game is different. That's very rarely the case. And so I think that gets overblown a little bit. What was really funny to me, did you see the tweet that the like official NBA refs put out after the game? Tell me you
Like
saw this.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. Like, do you
So
have the tweet?
I'm
Do you have
gonna
it pulled up?
I'm I'm gonna read it out. I'm gonna read it out in case anybody missed it. So that night, the NBA referee's official account, I swear I thought this was satire when I read it. And they tweeted out, like everyone else, referees make mistakes. We made one at the end of last night's game, and that is gut wrenching for us. This play will weigh heavily and cause sleepless nights as we strive to be the best referees we can be. Like, come on, man. It's not that serious.
Oh my God. You missed one call on arguably one of the greatest players of all time, if not the greatest player of all time. And now you feel like you owe him an apology, but you know how many calls you've gotten wrong before? Like,
It will.
what?
It's This one will cause sleepless nights, though. They're going to be tossing and turning, just thinking about how they let LeBron down. It's
I'm
sad.
telling you, they got a lot of sleep in '06 when Dwayne Wade went to the free throw line 30 sometimes a game.
Very true. Very true. I couldn't
I don't
believe when I saw that tweet. I couldn't believe that was
I
real.
was like, oh my God, man. That just goes to show you, man. This is the Los Angeles Lakers, man. They get that they get special love. I get it. I get it.
Yep.
I get it, man. They definitely bring in a lot of money to the league, so I understand it. But man, I was like, come on, man, these officials, they gotta be better than that. Yeah, if you got it wrong, cool. Put in the last 2 minute report. That's it. That's
At the
like
end of the day, like, we rag on the refs a lot, and I don't mean to sound like I'm too pro ref because, like, just wait until the
mhm,
Grizzlies get a bad missed call and I'll completely change everything I'm saying. But like at the end of the day, like these guys are professionals and it's a really, really hard job. I think there could be some more
mhm.
like automation that makes their lives a little easier. I think in
Yeah.
2023, like we should be taking some steps to get closer to that. But at the end of the day, like they're going to miss calls. There's only three of them out there. They're only going to have the angle, in certain situations.
Mhm.
Like it's going to happen. And I'm just not a big fan of like blaming entire losses on referees. I think
It's
that kind of stuff is just like a little played out, in my opinion.
yeah, oh man, it is because at the end of the day, this year, just officiating has not been great this year across the board. Period. Like,
Hmm.
and and the league knows that for sure. The league knows
Right.
that. But the one thing that is consistent is that everybody has to play with those same officials.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm not big on blaming losses on refs. I mean, because it happens. It happens. To everybody. It sucks, but you like
I'm a big believer it all evens out for the most part. Like for us, we
right.
have Ja and Luca on our teams. Like there's been
Yeah.
a lot of times where I see Ja drive in the lane and not get touched, and he's at the line for two shots. So then you
Oh, all the
complain
time.
later when they miss a call on the Grizzlies, but it for the most part, like you said, they all use the same refs. It balances out for the most part.
Yeah, superstars get calls, and that's how it is, And
Yeah, like I
uh,
guarantee LeBron had a couple free throws earlier in the game where he wasn't fouled, but he still got to the line. Like it happens.